Most people think fitness is about building muscle, losing fat, or looking good. But if you stay in the game long enough, you realize something deeper. Fitness isn't just about body development, it's character development. The gym doesn't just shape your physique, it shapes who you are. So today we're gonna go over the importance of fitness and how it builds your character. All right. So character starts with discipline. Nobody feels like working out every day. I go through it, but I always say, as long as you show up, do the best you can. Right. So there's days that you're gonna feel tired, you're stressed out, days when you're not motivated, but discipline shows up anyway. This what separates those who really about that life from those who just want the fly by night kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to talk about what's motivation, motivation this, motivation that. Nah, it's really about discipline. Doing, I think Mike Tyson said it best, where you're doing things that you don't want to do, but you have to do. That's where discipline comes in. All right. And fitness is a good way to practice that because it forces you to make a decision every day. You know, it's not about doing what's easy, it's doing what's necessary. So every time you choose the workout over the excuse, your character gets stronger. And what I like about fitness too is that I like to call this transferable, uh, not skills, but transferable principles because everything is connected. All right. So not only it builds discipline, it also builds mental toughness. When the weights get heavy, the workout gets hard, when your lungs are burning and you want to quit, that's when your character is being built. Because in those moments, you have two options. You can either quit or push through it. This is why heavy weight is very important. That's why I believe in progressive overload, not aggressive overload. Because what happens is you have these little inner monologues with yourself. If you listen to music, then fine. Sometimes I don't when I work out. And I have these inner monologues like, my breathing is starting to get heavy. My CNS is starting to overwork. And I'm like, oh shit, this is getting too much. What I'm gonna do? And 9 times out of 10, I most likely try to push through it. So when you hitting those reps where you feel like you're gonna quit, push through because each rep gets you closer to who you want to become. All right, or the person that you see yourself being. All right. So and also what it does is pushes you past your comfort zone. So when you see people doing like 3 sets of 10, right, with easy weight, they're really not developing themselves because you're not sending that signal to your CNS to really develop. And it's the same thing with life. Like I have clients all the time. Oh no, this is too heavy. Oh, I can't do this. I'm like, you didn't even lift it up yet. How would you know? And as a coach and a trainer, I'm watching you, I'm gauging you. So of course you can do it. And I don't expect you to do the same reps the previous set, but at least give me some effort where you're actually moving the weight, in a safe manner. Of course, everything's in context. All right. So this is one way how you build mental resilience. Like I said, the same thing you do with life when you want to have those difficult conversations in your relationships. When it comes to personal growth, you have to push past your comfort zone. And I think the gym is a good place to start to practice that kind of discipline. All right. Also, fitness teaches you patience, right? So one of the biggest lesson is patience, because no one has patience. We're in a society now that everybody wants the TV dinner or the Amazon Prime results. It doesn't go like that. You don't build muscles in a week nor in a month. It takes time, but it doesn't take as much time as you think for most situations. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be patient with yourself. And I tell all my clients this, that it's a journey, but during that journey, you're going to learn more about yourself. And the body that you want comes from you becoming more self aware. All right. So think about that. It's like getting rich. And and this is not a shot at those who go overseas and get surgeries. I'm not against that. If that's what you want to do, all the best to you. But this is part of the steps that you miss out when you go and take the shortcut. The character building with strength training provides. It's funny too, because I was talking to a client earlier, and during the session, she was asking me about it, what's my thoughts on it? And I shared with her the same thing I'm going to share with you guys. I said, I liken it as someone who wins the lotto and someone who won the lotto, $1 million, and someone who actually works for the $1 million. Who you think is going to appreciate it more and also sustain it for a long time? The person who actually worked for it, because in them working up to that $1 million of getting that, they've learned certain lessons they can't get that they can't be taken away from them. So even if they quote unquote lose the $1 million, they know the way to get it back. Rather than someone who just wins the lottery and they're financially illiterate and they don't know what it takes or what it takes to get that money, or they don't have the mental wherewithal to know how to get it back because they skip those steps and they don't have appreciation for it. It's the same thing with your body, right? We want instant gratification and we don't know how to take the time and dig deep and really work on ourselves and build a solid foundation. All right. So fitness is the respect that you get from the process. It's about consistency that beats intensity. Well, I do train with intensity, of course, but you want to be consistent. And we have a misconception about what consistency is. We think we got to be going 100% all the time. If you look at the weather, for example, because I always like to study nature, if it's summertime is not scorching hot, you may have times where the weather is in the hundreds, but most times it's 80s, 90s, 70. Though that's consistency. So think about it like that. Just show up and do the best you can, right? And with these small daily actions, you create massive long-term effects. I like to call it the compound effects. All right. And this is also a mindset shift that when you shift it one way, it changes everything in how you view life. All right. Also, something that it does is it gives you self-respect. Because now you become non-negotiable with yourself, right? So you start holding yourself accountable, keeping promises to yourself, right? So you know you got to accomplish a goal, you begin to train, and this is what you actually do, and then you start to eat better. Therefore, the trickle down effect. You start to eat better because you're like, this is your temple. Like it's having a high-end car. If you have the Bugatti, you're not gonna put regular gas in it, right? You're gonna put the best. Well, you're your own Bugatti. You want to put the best foods in your body, right? So you can continue to function at a high rate, right? So then what this also does is you begin to trust yourself because you know you can rely on yourself. That's why they have the saying that no one's coming to save you. So you got to save yourself, SOS, saving ourselves. It's the same thing, right? So, and then another thing too, you'll stop looking for validation, outside validation. You begin to start validating yourself. And I think that's what's wrong in the world today. We're too much trying to please people, and we end up losing ourselves in the process. With fitness, like I mentioned earlier, you're learning more about yourself. You'll know that you don't need outside validation because you put in the work internally, right? And it's a reflection. Your body's a reflection externally. All right. So just don't limit yourself in the gym with that. All right. So now you're becoming more evident in the consistency and so forth. Like I said, fitness reveals who you really are. You see, because it's the gym is an honest environment. Like I tell people all the time, 5 pounds is 5 pounds wherever you go, and you got to respect that weight. So you can't fake your effort in there. You can't fake consistency. You can't fake discipline. The results always tell the truth. That's when people are like, oh, I'm doing X, Y, Z. So why you look like that? Who you fooling? Not me. Fooling yourself. So it's really you really coming face to face with who you are when you in the gym because it exposes your habits, your mindset, and your work ethic. So if you stay committed, it refines your character. You become more patient, more disciplined, more resilient, and more confident. Right. So in my conclusion, so yes, fitness can change your body, but the real transformation is internal. This is where we said we transfer you from lead to gold, mentally, spiritually, and physically, right? That's what my brand does, right? So when you train consistently, you just don't build muscle, you're building something to build more resilience, discipline, and character, most importantly. And as your character evolves, everything in life starts to level up. If this resonates with you, drop I don't know, let's say drop transform, right? Yeah, put transform in the comments, and if you're looking for a program, macronutrient coaching and a training program, click the link in the description, and we'll get back to you, and we work with you and transfer you from there to go. So this is Alchemy Fitness signing off. Train hard, train smart, and train safe. Train safe. Peace.